Hello, I'm here to talk about leading worship. So, first, I want to talk about why we lead worship at all. It is human nature needs somebody who will rally them. If humans are excited enough, they can carry on, but somebody's got to make that first spark. And so, you see that with Miriam when the children of Israel came through the Red Sea. She grabbed a tambourine and she was the spark that got everybody singing and worshiping together. That happens all through history. If it's going to be a rallying cry for a victory, for a battle, for a change of politics, somebody's got to start the spark. And then people will go, but they need that. It's important to recognize that God needs you. I think it's a wrong way of thinking that it's not emotionalism. Yeah, everything is emotion, except for psychopaths. If you're a psychopath, then there's no emotion involved. But everything else includes emotion. Love includes emotion. And God is love. You can do loving things without feeling the emotion for it. But somebody somewhere is feeling an emotion connected to that act of love. It's not just emotionalism. The Spirit of God is present. The power of God is present, and that's really what the argument is when they say that, when they're trying to downplay it. It's emotionalism, like that's not God, that's just emotion. Well, let the fruit say where God is, let the fruit say it. And secondly, when God shows up, there is emotion involved in that for a lot of reasons. One, because he's the Almighty God. If a person can have a visceral reaction and emotion to an angel, well, of course you're going to have a reaction and an emotion, a feeling to God being present. There's nothing wrong with all of the emotions that are felt and displayed when God is present. When people are seeking, God responds. When a person is allowing emotions to be displayed, that is becoming vulnerable. That is a state where people have decided those around me do not matter. I am going to be vulnerable enough to express what I'm feeling. That feeling may be a very deep sorrow. That feeling may be explosive joy. That feeling may be anger. All of the feelings. God is not afraid of any or all of the feelings. It might be fear. There's so many feelings that we have. In our worship services, we should be helping people become vulnerable. As a worship leader, I am trying to help people bridge from their fake face that they've got to have every day at work, their lack of emotion, lack of expressive care because people might not understand them. People don't want to hear all their drama. They're so used to keeping their self in check all the time. And what I need them to do is to let that facade go so that they can worship in spirit and in truth. True worshipers worship the Father in spirit and in truth. That truth does not only mean a doctrine. That truth is the reality of who they are at that moment. In this moment, as I'm worshiping God, I am feeling anxiety, or I am feeling joy, or I am feeling overwhelmed. I am going to worship Him in spirit and in truth, the truth of who I am, what I am experiencing right here, right now. So as a worship leader, that's one of the things I'm trying to help that group of people. That's what I'm trying to help them do. I'm trying to help them throw caution to the wind. Throw it to the wind. Let's go for this. Let's do this thing. Mic holders, I'm wanting them to use body language to express a worship to God, whether they are feeling it or not, because what their job as the minister in that moment does not have anything to do with how they're feeling or how I'm feeling. You're there to help the audience lock in and engage. And so to do that, I can't stress how important it is that if you're wanting people to really lose themselves in worship, that you actually have good singers. I've often heard the argument like all God wants to hear is a joyful noise. And ultimately that's true. But when you're a leader of people, you're not leading God, you're leading people. And if a person that is trying to lead people, if their tone is bad, if they are off pitch, if they don't know how to sing, if their confidence is off, then the person watching them is not going to feel comfortable being vulnerable in the presence of the Lord. They're going to be like, these people don't know what they're doing right now. Like, I'm just here to check my box to say I went to church, but what I'm hearing right now is so distracting to my worship, I can't even worship. That's all that's consuming my mind. And by the way, this goes for everything. This goes for lighting, smell, all the five senses. The five senses are very much at play. If something feels off, there are going to be a few people of the mindset like, oh, I can just ignore that and I can do whatever. But the majority of humans that walk into your building, and because they're so focused on something that doesn't smell right, something that doesn't look right, something that doesn't sound right, something that doesn't feel right, you got to have all that stuff cleaned up before people come into the house of God. And, your job is to make it so that they can connect to the presence of God. If you've not done the cleaning job, the good smelling job, don't matter how good the singing is. It don't matter. Don't matter how hard you practice. If the rest of that stuff is all out of whack, they're not going to be able to engage. Okay, I didn't mean to get off on that. Your sound has got to be the best you can give. When it comes to God, he don't care about how good you sound. But when it comes to leading people into worship, they might not want to care. They might be, kind of open-minded enough, compassionate enough. They might be humble enough to say, we don't care. We don't care. Of course we don't care. But their ears are going to care. Their brain is going to be making all kinds of thoughts and judgment calls and questions. You need to do your best to be as good as you can be. Do your best to be as good as you can be. If the best that you have is not as good as you want it to be, but you're all that they have, you still need to get up and do your job. If you are all that they have, you need to give your best. You need to give your all. If you are all that they have, I don't care if you think, oh, I'm terrible, I'm tone deaf. If you are all that they have, you need to get up there and you need to do what they need you to do. God will bless that effort. I've got testimonies of God blessing us at Souls Harbor because we gave what we had. But as you grow, you need to understand growth requires excellence in all things, and you need to move in that direction and not get hung up on an idea that is, I want to say it's false humility. Like, it doesn't matter what you sound like. Yeah, it does matter. It does matter. There's some specific scriptures about skilled musicians. So yeah, we should work on being skilled. When you are leading worship as a choir, as harmony, you need to be very expressive in your worship. You've got the full extent. Look at this big old wingspan. I got a wonky problem right now, but you've got this full circle here that you need to fill up. One of the reasons why you need to do that is because people are coming behind you. So that means however far you go, you're going to go less than you. As the leader out front, they're going to go less than you. So if you want an audience that is uninhibited and exuberant praise, you got to be more exuberant than you want them to be. You've got to be more than you want them to be. And so this is so sweet. And I'm really glad you're out there doing that for the Lord. But this is not the extent of where we want to go. We want to clap our hands, all you people. Raise your hands. Get on the ground and bow before the Lord. Dance in the Spirit. Sing. You want all of these very expressive things. And so you're going to have to get outside your elbow pump. All the way out here. All the way out here. All the way out here. Big face up. Do that when you're leading worship. When you are in a position to lead as choir or as a background vocal, keep a periodic eye looking over to whoever's leading, but like just being very, very open. Hit your notes. Be as dependable as the guitar is. Entering the chorus or wherever it is you're going on the verse or the chorus or whatever it is that you're about to sing, you need to know that like the drummer knows when and how to hit the snare. Be overly expressive in your worship. Head up, hands up. There are some parts of a song that need the singer to convey a message directly to the audience. And when that happens, you need to engage your hands this way. This is where your audience is that you're trying to engage. You need to gesture toward them, swoop them in, literally do this with your hands, swoop them in, let them know this is for you to engage in. Gesturing that hand, like this is a message for you. Do you know that God is here? God is here for you. Express with your body. The classical form of singing is to have both of those feet squarely under your hips. You're not like cockeyed on one foot and knee bent, and you're not slouching in any way. You're standing upright, everything, and you're giving all your lungs, you're giving your belly, you're giving your diaphragm. All of this stuff is got full because you're standing up. It does need to be open, but in a apostolic Pentecostal worship service, we're not doing classical choir things. You need to do whatever you need to do to keep your lungs available, because we do need a lot of air when we sing. We need to be able to use a lot of muscle to put out that volume and that sound. But you've got to recognize that you might need to lean forward to engage the audience and bring them in, to help them feel like we are all out over here. We're all vulnerable over here. We're not just in here with all of our facades on. We're not here just to be pretty. That's not what this room is. That's a room over there. That's a building over there. But in this room right here, it's all about releasing everything. Facades go, vulnerability, spirit, and in truth come out here. This worship is all about spirit and truth. Your whole self has to express what you're singing. You gotta help them realize, look, this might be Wednesday night, and you got to go to work tomorrow, and you had a hard day today, and you're not sure what Friday's paycheck is going to look like, and there's a lot going on. But right now, the presence of the Lord is here. And if there's any help or hope that person can get, you cannot fix that person's finances. But if you can help them engage in worship, God is able to meet them there and inspire their faith, build up their faith, and they're going to be able to see what can happen with their finances, or see a way to help their kid. But you got to get that faith going. You got to get that worship in action for those meetings of God and man to come together, so the answers and healings and all that's got to happen. So Wednesday night, doesn't matter what the service is, what the situation is, you got to let your whole self help the audience plug and engage, because it's the best thing you can do for them. You can't heal them. You can't fix their finances. The best thing you can do for that person is to help them engage in worship. It's the best gift that you can give them. Now let's talk about leading everybody. As a lead singer. So it's helpful if you know how to make a good sound. But once you get to this place of leadership, we're not only looking for a good sound now. As a matter of fact, sometimes a singer can be too good for this role. I love great singing. I love it. And I wish I were a better singer. I'm not trying to say a person can be too good, but I am trying to say that as a singer, sometimes when you get to this place that I'm talking about, leading worship, you've got to throw your knowledge out. All the ways you know to form a good note, all the ways you know to carry on a song. Once you get to this place, that a lot of times that stuff's got to be tossed out the window. It's not good to you. Here's what I mean by that. Your good singing is the first little bit of layering, so that the audience can become aware, this person leading me knows what they're doing. They know who they are. They know what they're doing. If we're starting a song and it's a high tempo song, hallelujah, what a mighty God, what an awesome God. Oh Lord, you are, whatever new song there is. You're first starting a service. One of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to let the audience know you didn't come into a religious building today. You came into a worship service today. And you're going to do that by Woo! Isn't it great to be here today? You're going to do that by not doing formal things. Whatever is formal at your place, you're going to help the audience know, oh, we're not doing that today, by doing something else. The rut's not here. We are not having a rut today. That I'm not so much worried about my pitch. I'm worried about my connection, my enthusiasm connecting with them. That is my goal. Don't assume I'm up here going to give you something low key right now. I'm here to get you engaged in what I'm doing, because that's the only way I can help you in life. It's the only way God can help you in life. I'm going to help you lock in right here and now. I'm not so much worried about my tone and how I sound in that one. I do want the band to sound great, and I do want the vocals that are helping me to sound great. And I want to sound great. I do, but I'm not worried about it there. Where I personally lock in and get more serious about trying to present the best tone I can. I don't think I'm a great singer, but I know how to lead. I try to give them the best tone that I have. It's going to be on the first down tempo song. So the first slow song. All of this like kind of coming out of my skin that they've seen, that's how life is in my brain. You know, I'm like kind of, all the time. Super hyper. My thoughts are a million miles an hour. Squirrely thoughts everywhere. Like, this is who I am. So when I get ready to do I just did Potter's House, so that's still in my head. When I get ready to do one like that, I'm going to pull myself in, and I'm going to ground myself, and I'm going to focus the best I can on a tone. I'm not going to do it for the whole song, but I'm going to let the audience experience a little relief, because I've just been like, I'm just going to bring them down to that calmness. So I'll start the verse that way. I'm going to help the audience start engaging in a new way in their worship. I'm wanting them to know the other side of worship and praise is also a place we want to be real with God. It's a place we want to be truthful with God's Spirit and in truth. How does Holy Forever go? Oh man, I can't think of songs right now. All right, God Roar. I wrote God Roar. Let me think how God Roar goes. There is a people called by his name. So at this point, I'm going to focus more not in on me, but in on my job, in on the skill, in on my notes, the way I know to form notes. So as I've matured, another word is aged, I've been beating this up since I was 4 years old. When I'm up now, there's some nodules in there I know I'm dealing with. Some weeks are better than other weeks. And so I'm aware of what's happening in here. And I know that I got to kind of make a sound. Sometimes I got to shape my jaw a little different to make a sound. I got to move what's back in here a little different to make a sound. It's wild how much I make sounds back in that part of my mouth now. Yeah, I still want to do the job, but the body isn't what it used to be. There is a people called by his name. Okay, so I'm really focusing in. Out there broken by words that were spoken. They've lost their way. Now when I'm in this place, I'm deliberately not making that eye contact like I was talking about before. And the audience knows it. The audience can tell. Like, I'm in my own space with God. I'm in my own space when it comes to my thoughts and what I'm giving. I am doing what I would do in my prayer closet. I'm just doing it on a stage right now. And I'm trying to deliver the best quality sound that I can as I start the song. And I do stress as I start it, because as this song goes, I feel like my responsibility is going to start shifting into, okay, I've let the whole audience's spirit and everything just kind of calm down, start feeling a different vein to flow in. Now I'm going to enter into a place of a song where I'm going to start like being more mama, like, come on, get in here. Come on now. Come on. We're going to do this. I go from verse 1. Let there be a roar. That soft sound that I pull out there, by the time I get to chorus 2, I don't care what it sounds like. Let there, first of all, I don't want to do it loud because I'll vibrate your speakers, but I'm going to roar it. And I don't care if it's raspy. I don't care if I sound like Louis Armstrong. My goal right there is not to be my pretty singing self. My goal right there is to be, again, like demonstrating to this audience, this is where we are now. We left the pretty verse. Now we're in a prayer meeting. You need to meet me at this prayer meeting. I'm calling you here. Come on. We're about to pray for some backsliders right now. As I've gained the audience's confidence and I can feel we're all locked in. Me and Jesus are locked in, and that audience has now bought into the message that I'm delivering to them. Now I'm going to start asking them to participate. That's where that next level of worship leading goes. So when you're leading, you had to be responsible for parts in rehearsal. You've had to make sure band and everybody's staying in sync. You've had to, before you even got to rehearsal, you had to be in prayer and found the face of God and the heart of God and the direction of God. And all of this is happening. So now you've reached this place where the audience has engaged with you. They trust you. They know that you are the leader of this situation. And now you become more than a singer. You need to be a singer, but you also need to be a little bit of a preacher. And you also need to be a little bit of a prayer warrior. And you also need to be a little bit of a rapper. In the middle of that, you become all things to all men, that by all means I might win some. You really get to that place where you understand, if this is going to happen right now, I'm the priest carrying the ark. And one priest is never good enough to carry the Ark of the Covenant. You need the whole lineup. So I'm needing all these people to join with me. In an apostolic Pentecostal service, a song is never a song. We're not in here to do specials. At least at Souls Harbor. We're not about specials. This ain't about each person's child getting a chance. That's not what's happening here. This is a prayer meeting that we happen to be singing at. Every part of a worship service at Souls Harbor is a prayer meeting. That's why we have so many breakout services. We start in the prayer room. We bring that prayer into the first opening song. It's a prayer meeting. We are trying to get the people to engage. Worship, prayer, bring your knees before God, fall on your face, come up here, let the saints of God pray for you. It's a prayer meeting. That's what every song we sing is. It's part of the prayer meeting. As a worship leader, you're doing more than singing. Your goal is not to sing a song. Your goal is to get the audience to participate in getting a hold of God. If your goal is to sing a whole song as a pattern and get to the end, no, you're wasting my time. You're wasting all those people's time. This isn't about you. This is not about a person being able to sing. This is about a person helping that audience engage with God. Engage with God. There is no song that should be copied from a recording. Every song is a guide, but it's not the blueprint in exact inches, exact feet. It's just like, here's some colors you can use. That's what a song is. Here's some colors you can use. And so you use every verse. You might need to come back to that verse because there's something deeper to go into in that verse. There's something stronger. Ad-libbing is where you can be part singer, part preacher, part prayer leader. It's this in-between place, a place where you can spark faith. That's a place where it's kind of musical. Rather than just holler the whole time in there, you can put some musical elements in there like a guitar soloist would do. But you can't get so focused on how good it feels to do your licks and your runs and that you aren't locking in. This is not about me sounding good. I need to put away all of the things I've been working on in the privacy of my car while I've been driving down the road, and how I do that trill and that flip and how I, throw it out the window. At this point, now what I've got to do is I just use those enough to let this audience know I know what I'm doing up here. Okay? Don't worry about that. I know what I'm doing. And I'm glad you like it. But now then, I need you to engage with me and engage with God. Okay? So now we're moving from I sound good to come on now. Somebody in this place needs to. Somebody needs to. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Come on, you. And you, and you, and you. Oh, you. Talk about you. Yeah. When you're leading, you're not just singing good. You've got to take what you know how to do in prayer, and you've got to do that in front of the audience. You've got to take your vulnerability that happens in your prayer closet, and you've got to make that happen in the audience. You've got to help that audience. As the worship leader, you're not doing your job if all you're doing is singing. If all you're doing is singing, you're not doing your job. You need to help that audience feel and respond to the depth of that song. To the depth of that song. Okay. Thank you for joining me today.